What up, man?
Yo, what is up? How's it going? This is Fourth Branch Presents. I am Mogley Oni, and this week we have our featured artist, Jam Now.
What up?
Yo, what up, Jam? How you been, dude?
I've been well, just living the dream, man. Thanks for having me. As
Oh,
much as
yeah.
you can these days, you know.
Exactly. We're social distancing, got our masks on. Thank you for, your patience. Just
Without a doubt.
Wanted to ask you, man, because of the mask.
Yeah.
Let's get a little shot of that, you know? You
Yeah.
got that on your website?
Gotta
or?
self-promote. Yeah, you can pick them up on our website. I mean, you don't have to self-promote. I like these. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and
looks
it's
pretty
like
sleek.
I like them better than the medical ones. So,
True.
yep.
Well, hey, man, if you guys want to go hit up those masks, get your one for yourself, hit up Jam Now. Hell yeah.
Jamnowmusic.com.
Let's get into this, man.
Yeah.
So we just got done shooting a session with Jam. Let's go ahead and just describe that. Do you want to share us your experience with the session?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I haven't really played those songs in a few months just because of the pandemic. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I've been doing live streams and stuff, but I haven't played them like in front of other people. So, I kind of got some goosebumps. I'm like, man, I haven't played out in a while. You know. So it's this was like, you're my one audience and everybody watching. So it was a good it was a cathartic experience. So it's been too long, you know.
So it's like a breath of fresh air coming in and just jamming out.
Absolutely, for sure.
And I feel that. And just wanted to add to that, dude. Like, I just want to say thank you. Shout outs to JoBot. Thank you, John, for having us shoot these sessions.
Shout out
here.
JoBot. Thank you.
Yeah, go follow them. They're going to be having online orders soon for, to-go orders and stuff like that. So go support small businesses out here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Please, absolutely.
But yeah, so we just shot the sessions here. We had 3 originals, and yeah, man, do you want to just describe the music and your inspiration? So let's start with what song that you performed first.
Yeah. So the first one I played was Jaybird, and that song was actually inspired by my dad.
Nice.
He always told me, like, growing up, he was always like, whenever I was younger, I'd write songs for like my mom, for like Mother's Day and stuff, and he's always like, write a song about me, and he would always tell me, like, growing up, he's like, write a song about me, and I never did. And then at the end of high school, he's like, man, you got to write that song about me. You never wrote that song about me. Or he always wanted you to like learn how to play this Bread song, which is just like an old school band, and I never did. And it was like, one day I woke up from this dream where my dad had passed away in the dream, and I never finished the song. No. And I had like the chorus written. I wrote the chorus at a friend's place, actually, like I think like right after we graduated high school. It was the night of graduation. We were all hanging out at my friend Stephanie Papa Dimitriou's place. I don't know if you remember Steph, but
it's a bitchin' name, bro.
Yeah,
that's a cool name.
she's from Cyprus. So, but I wrote the chorus at her parents' place on her piano. Like the night that we graduated, and then years passed by, and I had this dream where my dad had passed away in the dream, and I felt so bad that I didn't get to show him that song before he passed away, and so it was like my subconscious mind kind of telling me like, yo, you got to finish this song. Yeah. So woke up and I was like crying actually, and I called out my dad. I'm like, hey, are you okay? I just had this like really bad dream, and he was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm at work. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got to finish that song. And so I finished this song and turned it into what it is now. And we just, we tracked it. Actually, we recorded that song at this guy named Mario Caldado Jr.'s place.
Oh, okay.
And he was most well known for recording the Beastie Boys and Beck and Jack Johnson and a lot of really cool people. And my producer, Robert Carranza, brought us over there, and we tracked. They're partners. They've worked together in a lot of stuff. So that'll be coming out soon. And yeah, looking forward to having that hit some ears near you.
Heck yeah, man. Jaybird, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that backstory, man.
Totally.
I think that's awesome. I think my dad has had a fair share of like, oh, you should learn some Tesla music, or you should learn some Led Zeppelin, all them dad music, all them dad songs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that you actually, fulfilled that in for his request. So
happy
really
to
awesome,
do that.
Dude.
Absolutely.
So the second song, dude, do you want to tell us a little
Silver
bit about
Screen?
that? Yes.
Yeah, it was another song that was inspired right around high school. Yeah, I mean, started writing that song. It was actually a song written from another dream that I had. Oh, wow. I had this dream of this girl that I had a crush on in high school, and she came to me in this dream. Not what you're thinking. No. But no, she was a dancer, and we were just hanging out, and I don't know. The song's kind of just also, it was really inspired from that. She just came to me in a dream. We were hanging out and talking and stuff, and so yeah, that's where that song was inspired by. And then, but I wrote the majority of that song either in a park or in the desert. Yeah, there's a mountain preserve that I like to go to, like not far from my place, and I walked up there, and I remember writing the pre-chorus to that in the desert in the heat in Arizona. It was like, because sometimes for me, I have to like get out of my normal element to write.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
same.
your brain has to be inspired and has to be triggered to create something. You can't just force, create inspiration.
Yeah.
So I'd go to like a nice mountain preserve, beautiful park or something, and I'd finish writing. But I wrote the chorus at, like in this park in the middle at like midnight. It's like nobody was there, and I was just seeing this beautiful lake, and I was just sitting, by this lake on a bench, and I finished the by myself at midnight. It was kind of weird, but no, but yeah, it was just this dark park, and finished the chorus up, and then we tracked that at Jack Johnson's studio in Hollywood, and it's all recorded using solar energy too. So it was recorded using light from the sun. So
okay, there you go.
So that's kind of a little bit of the backstory behind Silver Screen, and yeah.
Nice. So you said that this is the second song where you kind of developed it from your dream. So do you usually, when come up with writing, when you get that flexing, stretch your brain a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you draw most of your music from dreams and like through lucid dreaming or anything like
I
that?
try. It's funny. Like I dream. I write a lot of my stuff from dreams.
Okay.
I mean, not all of them, but a lot. Like I would say maybe. I don't want to say half, but I don't know. It's just like, I would say a vast majority of the songs that I write, I wake up from a dream and I'm like, wow, that was a really cool idea. Or, I need to write about that. And so actually, yeah, a lot of my songs are written and inspired by dreams. It's the weirdest thing.
Do you have like a dream journal?
I do.
There you go.
Well, I don't write them down daily, but if it's like a prolific dream, I have really vivid dreams. And when I remember them, it's like, whoa, I need to write about that, So
Yeah.
I have this other song called Tie Tie that I've been working on, and that was probably the most intense dream that I've had. And I didn't play it, but maybe we'll do another one sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll play it for you. But my buddy Ty, Tyler Hedstrom, he passed away a few years ago, and
condolences, man.
yeah, and thank you. And he came to me in a dream, and it was the trippiest thing. We were at Coronado, which is this vegan restaurant in Phoenix.
I love their cauliflower.
And
tacos.
he was with some friends that I didn't know, and we were all in this restaurant. And it was just me, and there weren't any it was just us in the restaurant. Nobody was there. It was really trippy.
Yeah.
And he was telling me how he felt so bad about what he did because he committed suicide, and it was just like really intense. And I'm like, yo, it's all right. Like it is, it's, you just gotta, go forward from here, and like you gotta move on, And I'm like, you can't keep coming to me in my dreams either, man, because otherwise I'm gonna go crazy, And that was the last time I had him come to me in a dream. But I wrote a song about it, and I basically just was inspired, and I sent his brother a text. I'm like, yo, dude, just wanted to reach out and let you know I love you. I had this dream about Tyler last night, and he's like, love you too, brother. And yeah, so I do write a lot of songs about, and that ended up being like the first verse of the song was just like this texting back and forth between me and his brother, and I'm like, oh, these are great lyrics. So I just kind of but I'm very inspired by my dreams, and not all the times, but I think that those are the easiest ones to write, I think, so.
Yeah, dude, I respect the process, dude. Everyone has their own, writing techniques and how they develop their songs and stuff like that. But your persona, your ambiance of your music and your presence, it really sits well. It resonates very well.
Thank you.
Your theme with everything.
Thank you.
You can definitely feel it. And my favorite one, touching on the matter of feeling the energy of straight through my speakers, hearing it for the first time, was Universal Love.
Oh, yeah.
And I always give you mad love for that song.
Thank
I fucking
you.
love that song,
Thank
dude.
you.
So, want to tell us
much.
a little bit more? Like, is that from how long did you, come up with that, and then just put in the effort? Just talk about the hustles of just,
Sure. That song probably had the most changes to it out of like any song that was on that EP.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, like whenever I write music, they don't change that much, but that song had a lot of metamorphoses to it. And I think it was because it was right when I was figuring out, you know, how I wanted to write my music, what my intentions were, and you know, so I think it had a lot of changes. But originally, if for all those music theory buffs out there, I originally wrote the song in A major, and a friend of mine, or my old music teacher, was like, "Man, all your songs are in major. You should have something in minor, you know." And so I'm like, "Okay." So I flipped it around. I took all the major note or major chords and just flipped it around and put it in minor, and it's the same chords. It's just in a minor key, and or same notes, I should say. And yeah, I mean, and so that was like the first change, and then the next one. It was actually written about, it was funny, I was looking through a journal when I first wrote that song, and it was like, open your heart to heal this world. And then it was like, look at all the girls or something like that. It was really funny whenever I first read that. I'm like, wow, that is so bad, you know? Yeah, and so, you know, but songs naturally will progress. And that's the most important thing, you know, for me. It's like, it doesn't matter what it is. Just get the melody, get the skeleton of the song written, and then, you know, go back and edit it later and make it better. Because it's the most important thing is having a draft. It's like if you have that written and like down, it's like you'll know what to change and what needs to, you know, change. But the most important thing is to just get it fleshed out, you know, no matter what. So.
And it's like those subtle little things that make a big difference for your songs and your
totally.
music. And
yeah.
you don't. I always tend to overlook those small things because I'm just like never completely satisfied with my work.
Sure.
But yours is just like, all right, if it sounds good, you know, let's do it. That's the end result, you know. It's amazing, dude, to see that. But you know, I also had this in mind when coming here. Was I kind of wanted to figure out the origin of you as an artist, you know, and give people kind of like a backstory of how you developed. So I first remembered meeting you in high school at Sunny Slope, and it was through some mutual friends of a music group that I was in, and you were also playing very neighborly, you know, like within the same music community within high school. And I remember you were in a band named Central Divides.
Throwback.
Like, yeah, right?
Yep.
So I just was wondering, because like I remember like you were in that band, and then next thing you know, I hear that, you know, you're producing as a solo musician, and then I've seen all your growth through, you know, the Alice Cooper, Proof is in the Pudding. Yeah. And I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, people need to see artists hustle and really, you know, utilize that for themselves.
Sure.
So people and our viewers, you know, I really want to just bring that into full circle here. So you want to tell us about, you know, what all that?
Yeah. So in high school, I was in I was in one band in high school. We changed the name a few times, but we played a lot together, and that was really where I developed my training wheels, I guess, for like how to write music. And our friend Reno Maringer and I, we'd always sit down, and I was always so adamant about wanting to help out with the writing process, with the lyrics and stuff. And I think when you're younger, you don't really realize how you're coming across. It's like I was probably stepping on their toes a little bit too much, like in the creative process. And I had such a big ego as a kid too, and I still do. I have a huge ego, and it's like, so, you know, but you realize that later, and you start to check it. And so it's just funny because whenever we were like writing together, I always be like, let me, you know, add this chorus into this song. So there's two choruses, and we both sing. And but, you know, the most important thing was like, those were moments and such important times in my life that if it wasn't for, you know, those friends that you know we had, and that music that we played, you know, I never would have kept playing music. I wouldn't. If it wasn't for Reno, I probably wouldn't have gotten into music. Nice. I mean, I remember we were like being interviewed. And Reno Maringer's actually the guy that filmed Universal Love. So if you guys want to check that out,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, on YouTube, he videotaped the whole thing. And
shout outs to Reno, man, you're a real one.
Yeah, and so it's funny because I'll never forget when we were like in high school, we were being interviewed for like the yearbook or something, and they were like, "Who's your biggest inspiration?" I'm like, honestly, it'd probably be Reno, like Reno
there you go.
and my uncle, growing up.
Love.
Yeah, and it's like there's just something special about, you know, like writing your first songs. And Reno and I, we wrote, you know, we figured out how to write music together as kids, and you know, high school and middle school and stuff. So, yeah. So that was like my childhood, and then after high school, I ended up, you know, not being in Central Divides anymore, and I started playing in a few other bands, and I was in a band called Analog Outlaws, which which was a fun group, and we ended up winning Alice Cooper's Proof is in the Pudding, and we got to open up for Alice at Cooperstown and do a lot of cool stuff. And then Alice asked me to, you know, record some stuff for the Hollywood Vampires, like a demo for them, and so we got to work on some stuff. And then I ended up leaving Analog Outlaws, and you know, no hard feelings or anything. It was just like, you know, natural progression. I really wanted to work on my own music. That was the thing. It's like I was just kind of filling in, because I played bass in bands growing up. I was always like, you know, the guy that was playing bass. And so then
yeah, but you could slap that bass, bro.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey man, I
probably still can, bro.
Check out Vintage Wednesday. That was the next band that I ended up in.
Oh yeah, I've seen
yeah.
Okay,
so Vintage Wednesday, I left Analog, and then they're like, hey, we just, you know, lost our bass player, and we're going out to Austin, Texas to record a record, and we need a bass player. Can you come out? And I was like, yeah. So they flew me out to Austin, and we went out there, and I tracked bass on the record for them. And I was right in the beginning of figuring out, you know, like I had a friend of mine, or I met my executive producer, Scott Melhoff, and he was like, yo, I'd love to have you go out to California or wherever you want to go and track a record, you know, like a solo record. And I'm like, heck yeah. And so that was really at the forefront of what I wanted to do. And then when we were out there, Vintage Wednesday kind of cornered me into being a member of the band, where they like went on Facebook Live and were like, yo, join the band. And I was like, I got other stuff going on, but you know, I ended up, you know, I loved all those guys so much, Taylor and Josh and Alex and Andy. And Josh and Andy, we still play with each other today. You know, we still play. Yeah, they're still in my band today. And so, but yeah, we ended up winning Alice Cooper's Proof is in the Pudding again that year. So I got to win it twice.
There you go.
And
flex, bro.
Yeah, and then we got to open up for like Johnny Depp and the Hollywood Vampires, which is Alice Cooper's band, and the Gin Blossoms and Korn of all bands and stuff. So
oh wow, there you go.
So we got to do a lot. It was a really cool experience, and I learned so much. You know, we got to record with Frenchie Smith, who was an amazing producer out in Austin, Texas. Really cool guy, and you know, but that's the music journey. You know, it's like you just kind of just go where the music takes you. But the whole time, you know, I always had these songs that I was writing and all these bands, and it was really like what I wanted. That was my heart's desire, you know, to play my own music. And so so then I was talking to a few different producers out in LA, and then one day I got a phone call from a guy named Robert Carranza, and he's a Grammy award-winning producer that's produced like Jack Johnson, and he's worked with Beck and Los Lobos, and
so he's very found it.
So he's been around the block, and he's a really talented producer, and he's just a fun person to record with. I mean, he's just a really cool dude, and so that's who I've been working with so far, and we got some new music coming out. I've been listening to some mixes, and it's sounding really groovy. So
nice. Well, thanks for sharing all that, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know, and also the viewers as well. You know, just wanted to say, like, do you think that, you know, developing your showmanship and your musical, you know, background with various groups, do you think that kind of helped form that mold you with like the jigsaw pieces?
Well, I think one thing that I learned out of being in all those different groups was I really hope that I learned out of those experiences how to treat other band members.
There you go.
Because that was one thing that was really, I feel like being the bass player in a band, I mean, no offense to anybody else that's out there, but I feel like the bass player is really one of the most underrated people in the band. And
they keep the whole thing afloat.
100%. And it's one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. And so I think I learned a lot out of that. And I still love playing bass, and like, you know, I mean, I've actually played bass for my buddy Shute Scott for a little bit. He's a rapper. We only played like one gig together, but it was at Easy Roots, which is a pretty big opportunity,
cool.
and that was fun. So yeah, I mean, it's like I'm always down to play bass, you know, as long as it's like feels right, you know, and or even collaborate with anybody as long as it's like, you know, it feels like the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely helped mold my musical, you know, perspective and palette a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely, and I got to meet so many people through those opportunities and do so much, and absolutely.
That's
100%.
what I love about music, man. Like, it just brings so many souls together. You
Totally.
know? And it's just all about the music at the end of the day. But if there's one thing, man, that you can leave off on this, you know, on the video and this podcast, the interview, the session, there's one thing that you would want to relay to your fans, new fans, old fans, and, you know, our viewers for Fourth Branch. What's the one thing that you would like to leave them, you know, today? Like,
so one thing that I really love is this quote from Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I went to see the Chili Peppers a few years ago, and they're playing it in Phoenix, and Flea came out, and he was like getting ready to like rock out, and he goes, "There are two kinds of people in this world. There are those that know that we're all one, and then there are those that don't." And it's so true, man. It's like you either realize that, you know, we're all in this together. It's like this pandemic. It's like it's not just about yourself not wanting to wear a mask, you know, or it's about the other 5 people behind that person that you expose it to, you know, that's affected, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, or, you know, it comes down to anything, you know, politics, which I don't want to get into, but
yeah.
But no, it's just, there are so many things that separate us in this world, ideologies, and the most important thing is to understand that those are all superficial aspects of our true nature, and the most important thing is to understand that no matter who you are consciousness experiencing itself.
Yes.
And just understand that really when you get down to the essence of what we are, we're all the same. You
Uniquely,
know, we're all reflections of each other. And, you know, just treat each other with love, kindness, and respect, and, you know, do your best to be a better person every day you wake up, you know?
Heck
so,
yeah, dude. Yeah, thank you so much, dude. I'm glad everyone will take that into, you know, hopefully to inspire their day when they wake up. And, you know, I think you're right. We need a lot more of just common courtesy, of just dishing out all the negative things that we shouldn't waste our time on, and really focus on what's going forward.
Well,
you know?
in the wise words of John Lennon, there are maniacal people, you know, running the world. I don't know if I butchered that, but there are, man. There's a lot of people that want people to be separate.
Yeah.
And they want to keep people hidden. They want to keep people like full of illusions.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's social media or the news or whatever. And it's like, you know, it's like, it's really important to realize that, you know, you have to take your power back, and you have to understand that, you know, your thoughts really do create your reality. And so what you're thinking is, it's like what you they always say, you know, you are what you eat. And it's like, well, you are what you think too. You know, and you are what you watch.
Like that.
You know, so it's like I've seen there's so much negative stuff out there on social media, and you know, and in the world, you know, and I'm not saying to just tune that out, but be the change, you know, and that you want to see in the world, you know, and be loved, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. That's a great way to end this. Just you know, be loved, and love starts with self-love.
100%.
So, you know, start with that, and you know, everything else we're pick up after that. So
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much, man. I just also want to give one last shout out to JoeBot one more time. Thank you so much for having us shoot these sessions here. You guys are amazing, and also just want to say thank you to our featured artist, Jam Now, man. Thank you so much, dude.
Here, elbow tap, bro.
Elbow tap.
Thank you for asking me to do this. I appreciate it.
So before we end the video, man, where can we find you? Do you have any new music coming out? Just want to
I'm not sure when we're gonna be releasing it, but we just, you know, we have some mixes done, and I'm gonna send them off to get mastered, and then put together some cool music videos, and it'll all come out in due time, you know. So yeah, we got some, but you can follow me on Instagram and find me on Facebook and Google and all that stuff by just typing in Jam Now. It's on the mask. And yeah, so type in Jam Now. JamNowMusic.com is my website, and yeah, check it out.
Heck yeah. All right, man. Well, this is Mogley. This is Jam. And this has been Fourth Branch Presents. We want to wish you guys a great day.
Take care.
Sweet.